What's going on, you guys? My name is Zach Hartley and welcome back to another weekly watch list video. In this series, I share with you how the market is doing overall, as well as the stocks that are at the top of my watch list going into next week. Here is everything you need to know. Let's go. Okay, so this week was very exciting. We had a couple of picks that I've talked about on this channel before that did extremely well. You can see Gold Mountain here. I made a video about them on Wednesday, and on Thursday and Friday, the stock broke out of previous highs and is pushing up. They're up about 33% this week, which is absolutely phenomenal. And then we also have Reconnaissance Energy Africa. I talked about this company a couple of months ago. They're an oil company drilling for oil in Africa, and this week they put out some major news and the stock is up over 50%. They're doing extremely well, and we talked about both these companies pretty in depth on the channel. Now, what we're going to do next is take a good look at the market conditions and what's going on in the market. If you want to jump right into my stock picks, I will put a timestamp in the description to this video, but let's take a quick look at the NASDAQ and the major indices. As we can see here, the NASDAQ had a pretty big dip from its highs of February. It came down and it basically double tested 13,000, and then over the last kind of 2 to 3 weeks here, it has risen up to within 2% of its all-time highs. The NASDAQ, the technology index, is doing extremely well within 2% of its all-time highs. So if you had bought the dip over the last few months, you would have done extremely well. If you look at the NASDAQ 100, which focuses on the largest 100 companies within the NASDAQ, that actually set all-time highs on Friday. So technology overall over the last 2 to 3 weeks has done extremely well, and we are at or within very close reach of the all-time highs. Now, when we look at the S&P 500, which is a broader index that encompasses 500 of the most influential companies in the United States, we can see that on Friday, this index set all-time highs. And when you look at the Dow Jones, which is more heavily focused on industrial companies, this index also hit an all-time high. So overall, the markets are doing extremely well. They're extremely strong right now, and all of the indices are pushing higher. Now, when we take a look at Bitcoin, this was a very exciting week for Bitcoin. We broke through the kind of $60,000 resistance. We broke through to a high of almost $65,000 US. We come back down over the last kind of 2 or 3 days. We're retesting the $60,000 level of support. It's either going to hold up and we're going to move higher, or it's going to break down and Bitcoin's going to fall down to the next level of support. However, this week, Bitcoin did set an all-time high, but in reality, Bitcoin was not the story of the week. The story of the week was Dogecoin. The Doge, it was on fire this week. It absolutely skyrocketed from 5 cents basically at the beginning of the week to over 45 cents on Friday, which is absolutely amazing. It's definitely taken a hit today, Saturday, as I make this video, but over the last week, it went up by over 400%, which is absolutely mind-boggling when you look at a cryptocurrency based on a meme. Now, this is kind of tricky to comprehend because Dogecoin doesn't really have any value behind it, but when you look at crypto as a whole, this is where I'm starting to take it really seriously, and this is what I didn't really realize, is that crypto and cryptocurrency and Bitcoin has now surpassed stocks and the stock market in terms of Google searches and YouTube searches. And I think this is pretty amazing because this is the first time that these search terms and these actual securities have surpassed stocks and the stock market. And I think people are acting on it. I think there's a lot of money moving out of these high risk penny stocks and into cryptocurrencies. As you can see, a lot of the big companies are doing extremely well, but a lot of the smaller companies and emerging industries have kind of had a tough ride over the last few months, and I think a lot of it is because the retail investors and the people that usually invest in those riskier companies are moving over to cryptocurrency. And I think it's time to take this really seriously, because if you looked at a cryptocurrency in terms of market cap, just number of coins times the value of coins, if you looked at Bitcoin, it would be the 6th largest company in the world ahead of Facebook. If you looked at Ether, which is the next largest in terms of market cap, it would be bigger than both Adobe and Intel, two of the largest computer and software companies in the world. And if you looked at Binance Coin, which only came up a few years ago, it's worth $80 billion, and XRP is worth $72 billion, which is worth a whole lot more than the majority of the S&P 500. So absolutely amazing numbers here. And when you look at crypto, it is growing exponentially, and I think it's only going to get larger regardless of the meme coins. I think there's a lot of actual value in the other coins, and I am going to be making a little bit more content about it. Now, when we look at COVID, this is really important because the United States is a little bit of an outlier right now with regards to how well they're doing. And I didn't think I would say that because at the start of the pandemic, they were not doing well at all. But right now, they're doing good, because when you look at the worldwide daily new cases, we are as bad as we have ever been worldwide and as a globe. Daily new cases are pretty much at an all-time high. I don't think we've passed the all-time high, but we're within 1 or 2% of it, so that is not very good right now. But when you look at the USA, they have not seen nearly as significant of a rise over the last few weeks, so they're doing extremely well, and I think that is testament to the rollout of the vaccine. So good job with that particular topic. And then lastly is Canada. This is a similar representation of what is happening to the globe. As you can see, we are definitely going through a third or a fourth wave right now, whatever you want to call it, and it is not looking good. Ontario just went into pretty much a full lockdown. BC is in a lockdown, and Calgary is not doing so well either. We just closed all our restaurants. So COVID outside of the USA is still having some major impacts around the globe. Now, when you look at earnings, there's a lot going on this week. There's a lot of companies reporting earnings. There's still a couple of banks. You also got Johnson & Johnson, one of the vaccine manufacturers. You got Coca-Cola, IBM, Netflix, Verizon. You've got Snap. This is Snapchat. You got Honeywell. So a couple of big earnings reports that are coming out, especially for some airlines and some industrials. You got Hartley Davidson. You got a lot of different companies reporting earnings this week, so it should be very exciting. Now, just to touch base on a couple of the trades that we've talked about before, this was Adobe that I pointed out on March 13th, and this stock continues to run. It's absolutely amazing. This is what the chart looks like today, and it has bounced off of 420, and it has run to a high of $525. It's up over 25% in just a matter of 3 or 4 weeks, which is absolutely phenomenal. If you look at Docusign, this is the chart that I showed you last week. We had double tested that kind of 180, 190 level. We were breaking out of the trend line, crossing through our shorter 20-day moving average and beginning to test this red line here, which is our 50-day moving average. And if you look at the chart this week, we blew through our 50-day moving average. We continue to move higher, and this Docusign trade was absolutely phenomenal. We've also got the MACD cross, but we are starting to approach our overbought zone for the RSI. So if we run into any major resistance, either here around 240 or up here around 275, I think that is going to be where you may want to take your profit if you are swing trading Docusign right now. Now, Good Food, this is a stock that I pointed out last week. I said, hey, watch for the bounce off $8 and the breakout of this trend line. We saw a bounce off $8, or at least it held. It broke through the trend line, but it is trading sideways right now. I am keeping a very close eye on this one, because as soon as we start to turn to the upside, that's when I'm going to enter into this stock. I'm going to put a stop loss just below technical support here, and I'm going to take my profit around $10, $11 here. I'm not going to be greedy on this one. This is going to be a quick in and out swing trade for me. I do like Good Food. If it continues to run after that, I might buy back in. Now, a very good food company. This is also another company very similarly that was demonstrating a similar pattern. The pattern has continued this week, but I want to point it out to you because the longer that this pattern continues, the closer and closer we are to the end of it, and the closer and closer we are to either a breakthrough on the top, representing a fantastic bounce trading opportunity, or if it falls below this $4, $4.50 level of support, that could be an opportunity to short the stock. However, I don't really recommend that for this company because I do like them. I think they're doing something really good, and I like the operations, I like the management, and they're growing extremely quick. Definitely sign up to the news release if you're interested in very good butchers. Now, the next company I want to point out is Nova Cannabis. This is a Canadian cannabis retailer. They're doing extremely well, and they're growing extremely fast. They also just amalgamated with another company. That was a reverse takeover transaction that put them public, and they're focused on value buds. That is their brand name. That is their company name that is going out to consumers. They're focused on the value segment. I absolutely love that because I think that for the average consumer, a lot of the product on the market is just too expensive. These guys realize that, and they're trying to cater to that lower cost market, that lower cost segment, and I really like the business model. They're also growing extremely fast. So I like this company, and if you look at the stock chart right now, we've got a very clear, as soon as they listed, they dropped. And since then, they have not popped up at all, except over the last 2 days. They went from $2.50 to $2.70. I think we're breaking out of this trend line, and I think Nova Cannabis could represent a fantastic opportunity in the Canadian cannabis space if you're looking to get in still. Next company I want to point out is MCI1 Health. This company actually has a similar story. As soon as they listed, the stock dropped from $5 all the way down to $2.50. It found major support at $2.50. It pretty much double tested $2.50 here. And over the last 2 weeks, we have bounced off $2.50. We're starting to move higher to $3.60. And I think you've still got some room to go between $3.50, $3.60, and all the way up to $5. I like what the company's doing. They're in the telehealth industry. They've got some unique technology. If you want to check them out online, the website is MCI1 MCI1Health.com, and I think they've got resistance at $5, but I think you've got a nice gap in here to make some profit. I like the company, I like what they're doing, and I like the industry. Now, next company I want to point out to you is a software kind of AI machine learning company called Schrodinger. I actually got this company from Daniel Pronk here on YouTube. He made a full video about it, so I added it to my watch list. And if you look at the chart right now, we've got some very, very clear resistance around $80 here. We've pretty much triple tested $80 right here. We've also double tested this 60-65 level right here. We've got an ascending triangle right here, kind of a bull flag. And if the stock breaks through $80 right here, I'm going to be very optimistic in it. I like the industry. I like the business model. I like the other people that are investing in it. And I think if we can break through 80, that's a technical indication that the stock is breaking out. And I think there's a fantastic trading opportunity there. Next company I want to point out to you is Biosig Medical Devices. This company hit a high of $12.43 before falling to a low of $2.79. And since then, they've basically been trading in a channel for the last like 3 or 4 months. The stock has not done much except move sideways within this channel. And this $3, kind of $4 mark right here has acted as support once right here, twice right here, 3 times at the end of March right here. And now we are testing it again in the middle of April. And so if we see a very clear bounce off this kind of $3.84 level, I think that's a good entry point. Or if it breaks down, I think the stock is going to fall to this $2.75 kind of $3 level, and I think that's going to be a perfect entry point. I've interviewed the CEO, I've looked at the business model, I've looked at the technology. So far it's getting adopted by the medical professionals and the community, so I really like what they're doing. I like the CEO, I like the business model, and I do think there's a great opportunity here if we can see the stock price start to either bounce off $4 or break through the previous resistance. That's going to be the entry point for me, and I am going to set a stop loss on this one because I do know it has a chance of going back down to 275, 280 before it comes back up. Now, if you are interested in getting a little bit more information about how to understand these charts and find your own entry and exit point, then you should definitely consider signing up for my Stock Market Fundamentals course. It is completely free. It's hosted on SCHR, and there's over 9 hours of content that will walk you through step by step everything you need to know. There's over 4,000 students that have gone through the course. There's over 200 reviews, and 83% of people that have taken the course and written a review say it exceeded their expectations. If you're interested in signing up, there's a link down below, and I would love to have you there. I promise you, it'll be the best free resource that you can find online. Now, the next company that I want to point out to you is Amazon. This company is very clearly trading within a channel between 3,000 and 3,500. If you look at the stock, it has bounced off this 3,000 level once right here in March, again right here in November, again right here in September, and it basically started the channel back in August. It has also approached and been rejected by the 3,500 level once right here in September, once in October, once again right here at the beginning of February, and we are now approaching that very key $3,500 level again. And what I'm expecting is it is either going to break through 3,500, and I think the stock is going to run up after that, or it's going to get rejected by 3,500 again, and it's probably going to come back down to support. Either way, I think something is going to happen with Amazon stock over the next kind of 1 to 2 weeks, so I'm going to be watching this one very closely. Next company I want to talk about is Facebook. This is a company that we have done extremely well on over the last few weeks. I pointed it out when it broke through this kind of trend line right here. You could have wrote it up from about 280 to 315, and what I think is happening now is the stock has broken through resistance that was set at 300. It set a new high of 315, and it's coming back down, and it is testing this 300 level that acted as resistance, and now it is retesting it, and we will see if it acts as support. If it does act as support, I think there's a good opportunity to get into Facebook right around 300 and play that bounce on the breakout trade up. Next company I want to point out is NIO. This is the Chinese electric car manufacturer. And let me point out that the Chinese government also owns a very large stake in this company. So I think if you invest in it, there's no doubt that this company is going to do well over the long term. China is the best place in the world to manufacture. It's also the largest market in the world for electric vehicles. And I don't think that they are that far behind Tesla. And so I do think NIO is a good long-term investment. I also think that the stock has very, very clearly tested the $35 level multiple times, including on Friday. So you can see right here at the kind of middle of March here, right here at the end of March, and then again middle of April, it has tested the $35 level 3 different times, including setting lower highs each and every time. So that gives us a descending triangle right here, kind of a bear flag. And what I am expecting is the stock to either bounce off 35 or fall below 35. In that case, I think it's going to come down to around $25 should be the next level of support. But as of right now, I do expect it to bounce off 35. If it breaks through the trend line, breaks through the moving average, and we see some positive indications from our MACD and from our RSI and maybe some increased volume, I think that could represent a phenomenal trading opportunity come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Now, the last company that I want to point out to you is Entheon Biomedical. This is actually one of my favorite companies. They're in the psychedelic space, ticker symbol ENBI, and they are focused on DMT and administering it through an intravenous, so it can be highly controlled, and it is high intensity, short duration treatments. I really like what they're doing. I've interviewed the CEO. If you want to check out that interview, take a look at my channel. But when you look at the stock chart, we open up here and we establish support at around 46.5 cents, and then we start to make our way up. We set one peak here right around $1.10 before coming back down to 80 cents. We set the next high at $1.35 before coming back down to the exact same 80-cent level. We set the next high at $1.10, which is roughly the same level as it was before breaking down. This pattern here of basically one high, a higher high, and the next high is called a head and shoulders pattern. This is the head right here, $1.35. These are the two shoulders right here, and this is the neckline where the stock keeps bouncing off of. This is a bearish reversal signal or a bearish reversal pattern. When you see this pattern, it means that more than likely the stock is going to fall lower. That is exactly what happened with Entheon Biomedical. If you could have realized that, you would have known that 0.8 is probably not going to hold. It did not hold. The stock is falling right now, and it is actually coming back down to the first level of support that was established when the stock started trading, right around 46.5 cents. So I am watching this stock very closely for a bounce off of the 45 to 50 cent level. If we see that, I may put a small position into it and play that bounce, and if it breaks through the trend line and the moving averages and we see positive indications and confirmation, I may add to the position. However, I am going to wait for it to settle out and start to reverse. That's what I am looking for in Entheon Biomedical. I like the company, I like the CEO, I like the strategy, I like what they're doing, and the stock has basically gone on fire sale. It's down by more than 50% from the highs. It's coming back down to a key level of support, and I really like what they're doing, so I'm watching this one very closely. Now, if you're interested in getting more up to date on my technical analysis, seeing my charts, and seeing what I'm looking at on a daily basis, then definitely consider signing up for my Discord chat. That is where I'm sharing all of my technical analysis, and I'm trying to build a community of traders and investors that want to share their research, share their due diligence, share their trades, so that everybody can prosper and so that you're not sitting at home alone doing all the research by yourself. This is a community that you can join for $5 per month. The link is in the description down below. I would love to have you there, and the goal is to help everybody make more money. Now, my game plan for next week, the stocks that are at the top of my watch list: Biosig, Neo, Entheon Biomedical, and Good Food Corporation. I like the charts for all those companies. I do think there's great opportunities. Wait for confirmation though. A lot of these stocks are coming down to support. They're going to settle out at support, and then they're going to start to move higher. Wait till you have confirmation that they're starting to move higher. That is the key. Last thing is, keep it simple. Do not overcomplicate your trading. Focus on support and resistance, one or two indicators, and a strategy that you can write down and manage your risk. That is the key to this. There's links in the description if you're interested in learning more about any of those topics. I've also got a Discord chat down there, the free stock market course, and $50 in free commissions when you sign up with Questrade. If you're interested in any of that, check out the links down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Good luck trading. Good luck investing. Talk to you soon.